Now, when I was a little bitty boy, I lived in a little bitty town called Granger, Texas. It's way over there somewhere. Now, every day in the summer, I would do my favorite thing, which was go to the library. I loved to go to the library. The library had 4 floors. Now, the librarian, her name was Mrs. Stillpickle. She didn't like me. Because when I would start to read, I would start reading out loud, and I would start getting loud, and she'd say, "Joe Ray, be quiet!" Okay. So one day I went into reading the library. Now, I always went to the first floor. I never went to the other floors. I'd go to the first floor of the library, and I got my favorite book. It's called The Adventures of the Powerpuff Girls, Chapter 1, Breakfast. For breakfast, the Powerpuff Girls had bacon and eggs. They had ham and eggs. They had sausage and eggs. They had cheese and eggs. They had ice cream and eggs. They had chili and eggs. They had green beans and eggs. They had fish and eggs. Hey! What? Be quiet! Okay. I picked up my book again. The Adventures of the Powerpuff Girls, Chapter 2, Lunch. For lunch, the Powerpuff Girls had a hamburger with meat, lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, french fries, pickles, asparagus, spaghetti. They also had cantaloupe on it. Jerry! What? Be quiet! Okay. I picked up my book again. The Adventures of the Powerpuff Girls, Chapter 3, Supper. For supper, the Powerpuff Girls had spaghetti and meatballs. They had fettuccine and meatballs. They had ice cream and meatballs. They had french fries and meatballs. They had mashed potatoes and meatballs. They had green beans and meatballs. Hey! What? Be quiet! Okay. And then she left. I was going, oh man, this is no fun. I never can read here at the library. But then, I got an idea. I said, you know what? I've only been to the first floor of this library. I wonder what's on the other floors. So I go up to the second floor of the library. I look in there and I go, oh man, what a chip. It looks just like the first floor. I go up to the third floor of the library. I go, oh man, what a jip. It looks just like the first floor. I go up to the fourth floor of the library. And I go, ooh, this is the coolest room I ever saw. It had all these big shelves with big books on it. And I started walking around and I saw one big book. It said, The Curse of the Himalayan Dragon. I go, ooh, that looks like a good book. So I reach up for the book. Joey! What? It was Miss Stillpickle. Joey, what are you doing up here? Nothing. Joey, go downstairs. But why? Go downstairs! Okay. I go back down to the first floor of the library. And Miss Stillpickle goes, Joe Ray, don't go to the fourth floor. But why? Joe Ray, don't go to the fourth floor. But why? Joe Ray! Okay. And she goes into her office. I'm going, man, I wonder what's on the first floor of that library. I want to read that book. And then suddenly the phone rings. Ring, 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 ring. Miss Stillpickle picks it up. Hello? What? My house is on fire! Ah! She slams the phone down and she runs out of the library. I go, aha! Now I can go to the fourth floor. I go up to the fourth floor of the library and I go to the book, The Curse of the Himalayan Dragon. I reach up to touch the book. Ah! It shocked me. I try it again. Ah! It shocked me again. It must be electricity. But I had a good idea. I took off my shoes and I put my socks on my hand. Because I'm a smart little boy. And I go, it didn't shock me. It didn't shock me. So then I was able to take down the big book. And I laid the book on a table. I opened it up. And I go, oh man, what a chip. There's nothing but white pages on this book. They're blank. But then I saw letters swirling around in the book. And the letters swirled around and they formed the words, Joe Ray. Joe Ray, that's me. And then more letters started swirling around. And then they formed the words, do not read this book. Joe Ray, do not read this book. Ooh, that's scary. And then more letters started swirling around. And then they formed the words, or you will die. I go, ooh, Joe Ray, do not read this book or you will die. Ah! That's really scary. And then I saw two claws floating around the book. And then suddenly the claws came up out of the pages. They went like, ah! Ah! And the claws grabbed me by my hair and they dragged me in the book. I went down, 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 down. I went all the way down to the basement. And then the claws let go of my hair. I go, ow! Bad claws. I'm going to tell your mommy on you. And then the claws started floating around. And then the claws grew into this torso. And then the claws grew into big giant legs. A big giant tail. And then suddenly a big giant head came out. And I was looking at the Himalayan dragon. And I go, ooh, this is scary. The dragon looked at me. And I looked at the dragon. And the dragon goes, Rah! And I go, Rah! Made the dragon mad. And then the dragon goes, Rah! And I go, Rah! That made the dragon even madder. And then the dragon goes, ah! And I go, ah! Now the dragon was real mad. The dragon started chasing me around the basement. And then I got trapped up by a mirror. The dragon picked up a giant rock. And he goes, ah! And he throws the rock at me. I duck. The rock hits the mirror and bam! It shatters. And then I could see what was on the other side of the mirror. And guess what it was? It was the first floor of the library. And there was Miss Dill Pickle. She goes, Joe Ray, get out of there! Okay. I jump out. The dragon was starting to follow me, but then I found out Miss Dill Pickle was magic. She went, la 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 la! And the wall went back just the way it was. And then Miss Dill Pickle looked at me. She goes, Joe Ray, what did I tell you? Don't go to the fourth floor. When I'm gone, never go to the fourth floor. Okay, Miss Dill Pickle, I will never, ever, ever do that again. And after that, when Miss Dill Pickle was gone, and I was in the library, I wouldn't go to the fourth floor for at least 10 minutes. And that's the end of my story.